Welcome to UND Sports Extra. I'm your host, Dan Hammer. It was a history-making day last Saturday in Laramie, Wyoming for the North Dakota football team. For the first time since moving to Division I, North Dakota defeated an FBS opponent, beating the Wyoming Cowboys 24-13. Coming up on tonight's show, we'll watch the highlights through the eyes of head coach Bubba Schweigert. Later in the show, we'll tell you about North Dakota's move to fully fund athletes via cost of attendance. That will begin next fall. And we'll also tell you about Jameer Irvin Sills and his path to the North Dakota football program. It was a special day last Saturday in Laramie. The head coach, Bubba Schweigert, is with us. Bubba, congratulations on the win. I know one of your themes for your program is day by day, but certainly a special day for you at Saturday.
Yeah, it was. Really proud of the guys. You know, I really felt the difference in the game was we controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and we knew we'd be challenged going in, but offensively got hat on hat, and defensively really played tough and moved and tackled well.
That was very evident as I watched a lot of tape the last couple days. Your offensive lines and defensive lines won this football game for you.
Yeah, and that's the way we want to play. You know, if you want to be a team, and we know who we want to be, and we're getting closer and closer, but sure got to keep pushing to get better every day up front on both sides of the ball.
I know you keep things in perspective, but this is a nice little bolt of confidence for your young football team early in the season, isn't it?
I think so. If we keep it in the proper perspective, really can help us. Confidence is big moving forward, but you still got to get back to work, and we'll learn a lot about our team this week.
North Dakota's defense was strong. Some newcomers made big-time impacts on the game. Bubba and I will take a look at the highlights next here on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota and RydellCars.com.
The first ever meeting between North Dakota and Wyoming on the football field. Bubba, let's take a look at the highlights from last Saturday in Laramie. A lot of familiarity between your staff, especially you, Coach Schmidt, Coach Bull, Coach Vegan, and the Wyoming Cowboys. 25 guys for your team making their first collegiate trip.
Yeah, and I thought we had a good Friday night. The guys were focused, and until you get the game time, you just never know how guys are going to react.
Nice mix of run and pass in your first 6 plays of the game. You had 3 of each.
Yeah, I think we wanted to mix it up a bit. Here we see Josh making a good catch and run after catch and, converting the first down.
Here's an early explosive play. Looks like you're going to take the early lead. John Santiago, 72-yard touchdown run. This is called back. Tough to see the penalty here, Bubba.
Yeah, we blocked on the perimeter, probably held on a little bit long, but it was a physical play, and then John shows some explosiveness there that we were waiting to see.
But early in this game, your offensive line is showing signs of being dominant. Take a look at Kyle Norberg's 14-yard run, and look at your offensive line here create that hole.
Yeah, good physical, hard-running play, and Kyle can run between the tackles, and that's what we're looking for him to contribute to the team.
Well, you're moving here, but then you face 3rd and 9, and Studrews is sacked. Eddie Yarbrough, you previewed him last week. He gets the sack here.
Talented player, and Keaton, hanging on to the ball there. We think there's only one bad play in football, and that's a turnover. Couldn't find anybody open, so hung on to it.
Your next drive, the offensive line going to work again. Santiago for 6, and then look at the hats on Santiago's 52-yard touchdown run.
Yeah, really good football play here, and well executed, and John hits the crease, and this is what's really impressive here. He outruns the angle here on this defensive back, and that's what we need. We need an explosive plays and explosive players.
Heck of a cutback, too. And the true freshman from St. Francis, Minnesota, who originally was wide receiver on your depth chart, moves to running back, goes to work here. And he's showing some ability to make defenders miss as well.
Yeah, a lot of times, the way we're going to play, you're going to have to make that first guy miss once you get into the secondary. And he showed the ability to do that.
This is your next possession after the drive that made it 7-0. And how about A.J. Stockwell pulling here, taking out 2 guys, clears the way for Keaton Studrew on his touchdown run.
Yeah, well-executed play again, and Keaton was real patient on the run, which really set it up, and then was able to sprint into the end zone.
14-0 here. Early, quick start for your football team.
Good to get ahead on the road. It took the crowd out of the game a bit, and we needed to do that, get off to a good start.
7 pass breakups on the day. Dion Harris, very strong game for you in the secondary.
Yeah, he's got really a long body. He's a 6'2" corner with long arms, and we expect a solid performance out of him week after week if we're going to play the way we want to play.
Yeah, he's not a newcomer, but new to the starting lineup. Another newcomer who had a strong game for you. Clive George is wide receiver, the transfer, he was effective on a couple of jet sweeps and a couple of receptions for you, but now you're going to lose him for a while, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, Clive will be out for an extended period of time, but sure contributed to the win. Here you see a really good catch. This is after the injury to his hand.
Yeah.
Just really showed some toughness and played with it. We weren't aware of it till after the game.
And you say he hurt his hand on the first play of the game, showed a lot of courage going the rest of the way. But again, Georges is out for a number of weeks. Third down conversions, Bubba, big-time winning edge for your football team.
Yeah, it was. Here you see Keaton making the correct read and Josh finding the hole in the secondary and converting. And we were over 50% on third down, and defensively we held them 10 out of 13 times.
The stack eye with 300-pound Grant Applin as your lead blocker. He was a dude on Saturday.
Yeah, found a role for Grant. He's our backup center, but wanted to get involved in the action. Good physical player.
Yeah. 9 of 17, as you said, on third down conversions offensively for you. Applin with another block there. Your rushing game was phenomenal, 276 yards. Norberg with 17 more then, and then third and goal at the Wyoming 5. Studroods gets to the 2-yard line. Were you thinking I'm going to take the 3 for sure here at this point?
Yeah, the right thing to do is go up 3 scores.
Yep.
And unfortunately, didn't make the field goal. We were a little disappointed. Our field goal team got out there. We kicked it and converted, but we had a delay of game, so we had to kick it again.
And yet, it was a 16-play drive that took more than 8 minutes off the clock, so it was still a successful possession for you.
Yeah, and offensively, we changed the field position most of the day that Wyoming didn't have great field position.
Your defense completing the first half shutout here never really allowed Wyoming any rhythm offensively.
Yeah, Taj makes the sack, and then on fourth down gets a good breakup to get us off the field.
14-0 at the half. Your words at halftime were what?
Well, we had a disappointing finish because of the missed field goal, but we told the guys that, hey, we came out here to play an entire game, and we knew the first score of the second half was really going to be big. It either puts us up 3 scores or gets that game back to a 1-score game. So
right.
The first score was big.
And Wyoming had possession here as we take a look at second half highlights, and yet your defense was able to set the tone early in the third quarter.
Yeah, we needed to get a 3 and out and get the ball back, and then offensively, we got a batted ball down there early, but here we see defensively again, Jake just missing a pick that probably would have walked in the end zone, and this would have really put an exclamation point on the score in the game.
Your rushing defense outstanding. In fact, updated numbers as of this morning, you allowed just 29 yards rushing against Wyoming.
Yeah, and we take a lot of pride in that. That's the way the defense is built. It creates some real interesting setups in the secondary when we play like the way we do, but our corners have to have courage and be able to play that way.
Late third quarter now, you go back on offense. Santiago rips another run here, 30-yard run. 24 rushes, 148 yards for the true freshman. What a debut. Then Studroods to Miguel Sarantino for 11 yards, and you're marching here with a chance to really, really take control of this game for good.
Yeah, this is a big drive, and once again, converting third downs and converting plays like this to get it down here in the red zone.
How about this hesitation move by Santiago at the goal line for the touchdown?
Well, that's one time we didn't have a hat on a hat, and if he can make plays like that to bail the offensive line out, that's going to really help our football team.
Yeah, 21-0. You talked about we can't give up explosive plays. You didn't, with the exception of this play late in the game.
Yeah, this was disappointing. I felt like our guys, got it to third down, 3rd and 10, and just needed to get the ball back. And you got to keep pressing. That's in every game because that momentum can change in a hurry.
So your next possession then is a key one, and you make it a good possession as you put points back on the board.
Big answer.
Big
spread
answer.
the ball around a bit here. Luke Matheson with the first down catch. Juwan Arrington in the game now to try to pound out some yards.
And you're going to cap it off with a Reed Taubenheim 45-yard field goal, so you're back up 24-6 now with 7:10 left in the game. Then your defense slams the door the rest of the way. Bubba, I think one figure that sticks out for me defensively, Wyoming ran 24 plays on first down. On 16 of those 24 plays, they only gained 4 yards or fewer. Big-time first down defense for your team.
Yeah, which was good and kind of set the tone for the defense. When you can play in favorable downs, 2nd and long, 3rd and long, you just have a better chance.
Mm-hmm. But again, your run defense is outstanding. You tackled well in the open field for the most part, didn't you think?
We did. We were pleased with our tackling. We work hard on it, and I think it helped our performance.
24-13. You slammed the door on the Cowboys. The historic first win against an FBS opponent since The program moved to the Division I era. Studrud was very effective. You can see why he won the starting job with his numbers and the way he played on Saturday. Will Rattel leading your team in tackles again. Here's what your players said following the win in Laramie.
Obviously, it's a big deal for the program. Yeah, it's a huge deal. I mean, it's the first time our team has ever beat an FBS team, so yeah, it's a huge deal for town and the program.
I thought it was a big game. We came in and had a good game plan, and I thought we played really well. And it's a big win for us going up against an FBS team and getting a win. It's big for the program, the fans, and all of us players. It's a good way to start off the season.
Those big guys, they did their job up front. I mean, they opened up huge holes throughout the whole game, and it made my job extremely more easier because there were some big holes out there. So it was just a matter of finding. I think Maurice gained a little trust in me, and coaches gained more trust in me. So throughout the game, I think they thought I could take on that workload.
We have a poster that has the main things, and one of them is money downs, and we consider third downs money downs, and that's what we got to do. In order to be a good defense, you got to have money downs and stop them on the third down.
You don't want to get too excited about one big win and lose focus for the next, but I think we're going to bounce back and have a good win next week against Drake and have a good week of practice.
Well, the focus now turns to the home opener. Drake is at the Alerus Center Saturday. The coach and I will preview that game and tell you about North Dakota's newcomer in the secondary, Jameer Irvin Sills, next here on UND Sports Extra.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota and RydellCars.com.
Welcome back. UND cornerback Jameer Irvin Sills has battled more than opponents in his life on the football field, but it is football that has helped him stay grounded during his challenges. Greg Ankers has more.
Jameer Irvin Sills is described as a competitor and a leader, two qualities he's had to live by both on and off the field. The newest member of the UND football team has come a lot further in life than the 1,300 miles from his former football home at Mississippi State in Starkville to his new home in Grand Forks, and he's amped up to get the green and white back on the gridiron map.
I want us all to grow. I want to take North Dakota University to the next level.
Jameer grew up, along with teammate Vashawn Tucker, in Wilmington, Delaware. And for those not in the know, Wilmington is not what you'd consider to be a family-friendly city.
It's just like a big city full of violence and angry people that just doesn't want to see anybody make it. That's what Wilmington is.
Happening today, leaders in Wilmington are going to come together and talk about the future of their city that, of course, within the past year was dubbed Murder Town USA by a major magazine.
It's rough. It's rough, especially in the last couple years. It's been terrible, killing, all that. It's crazy.
Friends since the 7th grade, thankfully Jameer and Vashawn have capitalized on the opportunity to move on. But for Jameer, his time in Wilmington did not come without a steep price.
It was in the middle of a football season. We was in a city, Wilmington City Little League season. And I was just young and I was out full of joy, just having fun. And I got the news that my mom got killed. Then I had to live with my pop-pop. And then a couple weeks later, my grandfather passed away. And that hit hard. And then after that, people just started reaching out to me, and they started reaching out to me.
Salvation came to Jameer through football. He would go on to play at a unique high school known as Eastern Christian Academy in nearby Elkton, Maryland. At the time, the school consisted of just 52 students, and it focused on faith, school, and of course, football. The founder, David Stills, became Jameer's legal guardian. It meant so much to Jameer that he added the hyphen to his name and changed from just Jameer Irvin to Jameer Irvin Sills.
If you're going to go to ECA, then you got to do good in school and you got to play football to get to any college. So that was the mindset, that was always the goal.
After redshirting and playing one season at Mississippi State, Jameer is now trying to make another new name for himself here at UND. The transition so far is progressing as expected.
The stuff that he just been put through in his life at so young that for him to be here now is just a huge accomplishment because he could have easily just given up.
We're just going into a sophomore year here, so we'll have this year plus 2 more after this. So, you know, as long as he does what he needs to do, you know, he's going to be a real good player for us here in the near future.
I want to lift up everybody. That's it.
Bubba, he has faced a lot in his life.
Yeah, a lot of adversity, and we're happy to have him here, and always proud of guys that, you know, come from a higher level and really buy into what we're doing here.
Yeah. All righty, Drake at home Saturday, your home opener, 50th Annual Potato Bowl. You go from being the underdog to the big-time favorite, Drake non-scholarship football program. From your perspective, what are you looking to see from week 1 to week 2?
Well, we're going to find out a lot about our team, how we prepare for this game, and that's what we're looking for this week is really a lot of work in the film room and a lot of energy and focusing on the practice field and getting ready for an opponent that's going to come in and play really hard. You know, I've had a lot of respect for that program through the years, just how hard they play and the pride they take in their program.
And at the wide receiver position with Clive George is out now and opportunities for some of the guys to step up, correct?
Yeah, Miguel, Saratino, Brandon Walker, other guys getting opportunities here need to step up and make some plays.
All right, Bubba, thanks for your time. We'll review the Drake game next week here on UND Sports Extra. Cost of attendance for all athletes was coming to North Dakota beginning next fall. We'll tell you more about that next.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota and RydellCars.com.
Welcome back. It was an assertive move. UND announcing last week that beginning next fall, it will offer full cost of attendance for all athletes. Here's Coach's reaction.
Decision made by our administration that we feel will really help us in our recruiting efforts and help us to get the word out on our program and the commitment that our university makes to Division I athletics.
It's just a great day for our athletic department, our athletic programs. It's something we have to do. The landscape is changing, so we're just excited to at least have the chance to have this.
I think it's an exciting time in our university. It shows where our administration is really given some thought about it and has a plan in place, and it's an exciting time for our student athletes.
UND head coaches are thrilled. The university launching full cost of attendance for all athletes beginning next fall. Cost of attendance stipends make up the difference between a traditional scholarship, which covers tuition, room, board, books, and fees, and the full cost of attending college. Athletes can use the extra dollars for transportation, computers, cell phones, and other costs. UND projects the cost for an athlete on a full scholarship at $3,400, with an annual projected cost of more than $700,000. The final pieces of how UND will fund COA is expected within weeks.
What are they going to do with it? How are they going to understand the tax implications behind it? What are we going to do as a staff to make sure we educate them that, yes, this is great, we appreciate all you're doing, and this should help make your collegiate experience a little easier, but it's not just going to be free money. There's going to be some responsibility that goes with that. So I think for us it's going to be really educating the student athlete on what is all involved with it and what is going to be their responsibility for it.
UND is just the third Division I program playing FCS football to offer full cost of attendance.
Who we're recruiting against, you know, we're going to be in the Midwest. We already know that some other FCS schools have committed to this, and we feel like it puts us ahead. And you know, we'll see what other administrators do from our competition and where they go with this decision, but obviously it helps us a great deal.
It's a September practice for the women's basketball team. Head coach Travis Brewster working closely with his players, knowing he's got another piece in his recruiting tool chest.
It's going to allow us to compete with programs that have turned Division I before us, that are ahead of us in the process. It's going to allow us to compete with some of the other quote-unquote Power 5 schools for some student athletes as well. You know, I think it's really going to help us down the road. We've ran into it already in the recruiting process this year.
Whether other Big Sky institutions follow UND's lead is yet to be seen, but the head coaches all agree. The recruiting competition for their program comes within the Midwest and against colleges like NDSU, SDSU, USD, Omaha, and Northern Iowa.
We don't really recruit against the Big Sky. We don't. And I think that's what, as a whole, as fans and as coaches and administrators, we all need to understand who do we recruit against, and it is I-29. With the majority of those schools leaning that way and doing that, we have to be able to stay competitive.
The University of South Dakota announced late last week that it's also offering full cost of attendance beginning next year. Coming up next, we'll tell you what's on tap this week here on Midco Sports Network.
UND Sports Extra on Midco Sports Network is presented by the University of North Dakota and RydellCars.com.
UND volleyball and football live this weekend on Midco Sports Network. Join us Friday night, University of South Dakota against UND in college volleyball, 7:30. And then Saturday afternoon at 5, North Dakota's home opener, the 50th annual Potato Bowl. UND off its historic win over Wyoming, hosting Drake. Hope you are with us this weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week on UND Sports Extra.